Like I said, not much they can do at the hospital. They gave me a UA, and thank goodness. And of course, as they're supposed to do, if you take a whiz quiz and you test positive for drugs, they're supposed to tell you what drugs. You can tell the difference between that paperwork and where the cops just told people at the hospital you was on drugs. Why is that? Well, because when they tell people at the hospital that you're on drugs, there's no whiz quiz. They just write it down as if it must be God's gift to the truth or some crap like that, just because the cop said it. Just like it must be God's gift to the truth when a police officer says you're delusional or you're schizophrenic. The fact is that officer is not fit to make those decisions. He is not qualified. Now, that whiz quiz that I just took, that whiz quiz is qualified to tell me what I am on. And I let them know, I said, hey, I smoke pot. You'll probably find pot in my system. I don't hide that. Well, for some odd reason, their test did not find the pot, or they just don't give two shits about pot. For my full chemical analysis, I got to come back according to my paperwork. It says let me see. It says schedule an appointment with One Community Health as soon as possible for a visit in 2 days around 8/16/22. Why? For general medical care and follow-up. Return to ER sooner if symptoms worsen. Specialty primary care. And then it's got their address and stuff on it. Says you currently have no appointment scheduled. Providers seen during ED visit. Bradley L. Nicholson, attending provider. It says today's visit you were seen by Bradley L. Nicholson, MD. Reason for visit, ingestion, adult, accidental. It wasn't accidental. The guys who put that shit in my drink knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. And they put a pretty decent fucking quantity in there because holy shit, like that's a lot of meth. That's a lot of goddamn meth. Got it recorded. The cops not taking it seriously as always. But it says diagnosis, agitation, lab test completed. The lab test that they did was drugs of abuse screen in urine. And it says instructions. Now, let's turn this back around so you can actually read this for yourself. This is my hospital paperwork, so I can do it if I want to. Let's find a decent light here. It says right there, it says your urine test today is positive for methamphetamine. Here, let me turn it sideways. It says your urine test today is positive for methamphetamine. My blood pressure is 118/83. My temperature was 98.2. My pulse was 78. Respiration is 18. And my oxygen saturation is at 99%. Anyway, so this is what I got. They also put a list of the medications that they gave me last time I was at the hospital. Let's see. 4 milligrams Zofran needed for nausea, and sumatriptan 25 milligram tablet, commonly known as Imitrex, and it says take 1 tablet by mouth as needed for migraine. So it says this list has 2 medications that are the same as other medications prescribed for you. Read the directions carefully and ask your doctor or other care provider to review them with you. The sumatriptan or Imitrex, I guess I could go get that for migraines at any point in time. And the same thing with the ondansetron or Zofran ODT. Obviously, I don't like drugs. I don't take drugs. I don't use drugs. So, no, I'm not going to be taking their medications for migraines because I don't have them often enough. And as far as nausea goes, by the time the pills kick in the morning, which is usually when I'm the most nauseous, I have a bad nightmare and I wake up and I just can't hold my lunch. Comes right back out. Anyway, those little shitbricks realize this means war. You don't fucking drug me. No means no. My body, my choice. This is a serious enough situation that it does need to have police involved. Now again, being as a homeless person with the tag of mentally ill, the chances of me getting blown off are pretty fucking good. Now, of course, I do have a witness who also tasted the Dr. Pepper, and that's Daniel. If he gets in trouble because he tests positive for methamphetamines, I'm not going to be fucking happy because here's the thing, I'm the one that asked him to try it. I didn't want him to take a drink, I wanted him to just taste it. Well, he didn't drink nearly as much as I did. Like I said, I take big gulps. As far as accidental ingestion, yeah, I accidentally ingested it. I didn't know it was in there. But the guys who gave it to me certainly did. So, well, I guess the guy's name is Adam, and I am gonna make sure that I verify it. One of the ladies who informed me of where he's at, she knew where his camp was, which tend to, whoa, fucking, god damn it, that hurts. And if you go back through and you look at all of my hospital paperwork, through all of it, you notice that there's no drugs in it. None. No methamphetamines, no heroin, no crack cocaine, nothing. They don't find so much as acetaminophen in my system. Now tonight, I went down there and I made sure it was done right. And this particular time, I didn't have to beg for them to take a whiz quiz. I begged for them to take my whiz quiz in Rawlins, Wyoming. Them cops were fucking shit, and so was the hospital. I begged for them to take my whiz quiz. That's a urinalysis for those of you who don't know local lingo or cryptic technologies. I added that cryptic technologies in there just because there's a video game by Cryptic that's got, well, pretty realistic renditions of some of that stuff. Right now, I'm still having shortness of breath, but I'm able to walk a lot better than I was. The problem is, as soon as this shit wears off, I'm going to be in a lot more pain. I already know it. That's why I stay away from medications and painkillers. You can think of it like a dam. Let's say in between your vertebrae, where all of your nerves have got their signal firing from. Let's say those medications that you're given, what they're doing is, and this is of course oversimplifying, it's done on a much smaller level, but in between your two vertebrae and your spine, you got a connection going in between the two. And basically when you take a pill, what it does is it slips itself between those two and it creates a dam. Any signal that your body is trying to send to your brain is basically cut off. Now, it's not like it's a situation where if it's a radio signal, it'll just keep on going. It'll obviously not bounce around for forever in that little area and stick around, but water will, won't it? Water isn't gonna just reverberate its way through a dam. It's held by the dam. It's the same thing with painkillers. Painkillers are a dam. Now the problem is, once those painkillers wear off, let's say you've got a small dam, right? You can fill up a little tiny lake in 24 hours, right? And that'll fill it up to the top of the dam. It's just, a little lake, a little dam. Now, if you only do it 12 hours, you only fill it up halfway. But the problem with the painkiller thing is that, well, your body sends those signals and they just sit there and they wait and they wait and they wait. They wait for that dam to break down so they can, of course, be free. So you've got this electrical signal and these chemical signals that are sent by your brain. And those chemical signals are the ones that are blocked off. The electrical signal still goes through, but the chemical signal doesn't. And those chemicals sit there and they sit there. And it's a signal that your body is in pain. There is something wrong with your body. So the longer you ignore it, the longer it piles up, similar to newspapers in your yard. If you don't go pick them up, but the neighborhood kid is still throwing them in your yard, you're going to have a yard full of newspapers pretty soon. Now, as far as the floodgates for those newspapers, no, there ain't no floodgate. Those will sit there till you go out there and pick them up. Whereas a pill is a time-sensitive situation. It's a time-sensitive block. It's a time-sensitive dam. It's only going to be there for a limited amount of time. And, well, it's not like having a dam that you can open and close the flood waters at will. No, when the dam disappears, it's gone. Them floodgates are open until everything that was blocked up is now empty and everything's back and flowing the way that it should. Now, of course, a lot of people, this is where they get into addiction. This is where they start getting addicted to opiates especially. You got this pain, right? So you take this painkiller, because this pain really hurts. You take the painkiller and it blocks a lot. This is a big fucking dam. This will block a lot of that signal. And it'll do it for a long time. Well, your body's got a major issue if you're taking those kind of medications. A major issue. And when those floodgates come down, that's a lot of signal all at once. I mean, you're talking about pain that's bad enough that you're taking opiates, but once those opiates wear off, you're talking about pain that could be up to 10 times worse. 10 times worse than if you hadn't taken the fucking pill to begin with. I've got recordings with doctors in Rawlins, Wyoming, and I spoke with them about it. They seemed a little surprised that I had that kind of knowledge and understood how it worked. because most people don't pay that much attention. The one doctor was perplexed by the fact that I knew so much about the medical field and all this stuff, but I didn't know any of the technical names. I just knew how it worked. Well, here's how it works. Daniel was there when those two came up. It was Nick, who was the guy who wanted me to give him a violin, not to be confused with Logan and Shayna. Well, Nick is a meth addict and also a pretty accomplished thief. He did not do me wrong. As far as today goes, I don't know which one of them put the drugs into that drink, but they for certainly did put drugs into that drink. And I don't want to blame Nick outright, especially since he's not the one that offered to get me the drink. That was Adam. And he wasn't the one who brought me the drink or handed me the drink. That was Adam. So, ultimately, Adam is responsible. Now, we know who that guy is already. He's the one that punched Michael in the face with brass knuckles. Adam is, his sister is the one who's dating Michael. The one who accused Michael of raping her, and then her brother punched Michael in the eye with brass knuckles. And I've seen the brass knuckles. They're black. They're painted black. They got a little bit of paint rubbed off a couple of the knuckles. It's some fucked up shit, ain't it? And because of safety issues with the cops, I do have to be afraid to go to them. However, if I see one tonight, I'm going to let them know what's up, and I'm going to let them know about the situation with the sheriff's department. Here's the thing, out there at the Shell station, I'm not sure if that's police department too, because I do see a police department out there quite often and quite frequently. But I think that's sheriff's department jurisdiction. Now, I was given the Dr. Pepper. It was in a blue Pepsi cup over on the corner of the street over there by the Shell station. So I was literally, four lanes of traffic from the marina, and that's where the sheriff's deputy was. So I went and spoke with him. I did not get his name. I did try to listen to the recording with him so I could check to see if I got his name. I was pretty sure I just explained to him the situation about how I was pretty sure I was just dosed with methamphetamines and I needed him to check my soda pop. Well, he wasn't going to do that. I did make sure to have my clandestine recording device handy. And of course, there's no personal information in it or anything like that. So if my paperwork ain't good enough, well, then I've got the recording itself. And like with most of my recordings, I do wholeheartedly intend on keeping it private. I did not want to have to record within a hospital. But also, there was no situation in there where personal information would have been given. There was one point where one of the ladies that was in there, the security guard had asked her for her number, so I made sure, since my clandestine recording device is attached to my keys, I just made sure I rattled my keys while she was saying that part. Oh, and it's still no. I think it was still recording. So it didn't just record the visit at the hospital, it also recorded a bunch of things since, like me going for this walk. Anyway, I was able to go to the Starbucks and explain to the folks who worked there what happened, and they treated me pretty good and allowed me to take care of the things I needed to take care of so that I could clear up the space on my clandestine recording device, and that way I would actually be able to... Cool. I just found a pen, so we'll see if it still works. I hope it does. Yep, still works. And, I don't know what to do about that meth thing. I mean, I do need to turn him in. And although it just said meth, I don't know, the way the doctor was saying I should go to the thing and actually go to the Department of Records, it makes me wonder what's up with that. Because, I mean, if you had fentanyl in your system, you'd think that would be something they would put on there. But also, you'd think with as much marijuana, well, I don't smoke very much, so it might not have even shown up on the test. When I say I smoke pot, obviously not all day, every day. So when I say that I support people who smoke pot and I support medical marijuana, no, I don't. I'm not a complete and total pothead. I do smoke it from time to time, and I do believe that it should be legal. So, yeah, you can take that what you will, and you can assume that I'm, smoking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like your uncle who never gets off his ass. But, out here, I ain't got the money for that. Anyway, I'm gonna call Laura tomorrow, and yeah, she does meth too, but she admits to it. Well, so do those other kids. They admitted to selling it, so I guess that's a moot point. But, with her not hiding that, with her being honest about it, with her being open about it, I mean, I'm sure she got some morals beyond what those two young men did. And I'm pretty sure that she's not going to be happy with people doing that. I have heart problems. They're pre-existing. They are documented. I mean, literally what those two young men tried to do, at least one of them literally tried to kill me. It's not okay. Folks want to talk to me about vindictive. You don't know nothing about vindictive. I live out here where it's real. Anyway, there's a lot of folk out here tonight. And I should probably try to at least check for some cigarettes. Sometimes they throw down some pretty decent ones. With me being broke, it's not like I'm going to be able to buy myself a pack. I don't know, I'm fucking pissed off. Like, if somebody roofied one of these women at the bar, the cops would be all over it. But somebody puts fucking drugs in my drink and the cops blow me off like it ain't nothing. Now, obviously, it's not just a story now. I went to the hospital and I got evidence of it. I also got video recorded evidence that the cops wouldn't do shit earlier. You really think I want those drugs in my system? You could ask any one of these women at this bar if they came here because they wanted to get roofied. And I'm betting none of them would tell you yes. I'm betting none of them came here to the bar to get roofied. The drinks that they came here for, they will order. If they want a rum and coke, they can have a rum and coke without putting drugs in it. I don't care if it's a roofie, if it's meth, if it's heroin. You don't fuck with people's food. That's what I told the guards in prison in Lincoln too. Don't fuck with my food. Don't fuck with the food of Ajamu Ojori, who is a hero to me. Yeah, he's in prison. He's in prison for a long time. He's a black man, so of course he was not actually convicted of what he's in prison for. No. What they did is they did the same thing they did to me. Arrested him on false charges and then assaulted the living shit out of him and then charged him with assault. Well, he's black. It was easier for him to get away with it. I'm not. Ajamu Ojori should be free. The things that happened to him also happened to me, but I'm not serving over 30 years in prison for it. Ajamu Ojori should be free. Ajamu Ojori. I want you to remember that name. I've said it a few times on my channel. And I really do got to dig deep in my vehicle, buried under all that crap. As the story is written by me about heroes from prison like Ajamu Ojori. This is getting to be a little too Dr. Seussian for me. Too rhymey-dimey. Anyway, I guess I should probably go this route. This is actually a little bit faster since my car is down at the marina. I put a note on it saying that I would try to be back between 10 and 11. Of course, it's damn near midnight. I didn't realize it was going to take as long as it did to get my UA back. On the bright side, I do have the evidence that was required, and that's pretty important. I do hope I get to run into Danny and let him know what's up. If he's willing to, I'd like for him to go up there and do a test with me, because although he didn't drink as much, and I guess it burns out of your system in 24 to 48 hours. Fuck, you know, I mean, what the hell kind of mentality you got doing shit like that? I mean, obviously he's got brass knuckles. He fucking has no problems with selling meth. He has no problems with assaulting people with brass knuckles. And then, of course, there's his sister, and she's definitely somebody that needs to be worried about if she's accusing people of raping her who aren't, and then getting right back together with them. What did she want? I see that a lot out here. Not just with Michael, but with a lot of different people. Where there's a woman who comes out here and feels everything is owed to her. Gimme, 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 gimme. And of course you got a young, impressionable hormone walking around. Yeah, it don't take much to snag a youngin', does it? A lot of women will do that. They'll find a young man who ain't got a lot of experience, and there's your sucker for the year. Now, there's been a few times where that didn't work out so well in some people's favor. For example, there was a woman I knew in Chapel, Nebraska, and she later moved to Las Vegas. But she wanted to swear up and down that she wasn't cheating on her husband. I'm not cheating on you. I'm not cheating on you. I'm not cheating on you. I swear I'm not cheating on you. Well, when the baby came out white, he knew better. When it happened a second time, yeah, Robert was out of there. The woman's name is Victoria, and she used to live with my mom, actually. She was kicked out of her house, or her parents' house. That's Tom and Tina Span, because she couldn't stay off the drugs and couldn't quit fucking around. But of course, my mom likes drugs. So having Victoria in the house just granted access to more drugs for my mother. So when I first moved to Nebraska, her and her newborn daughter were living in one of the rooms in my mom's house because Robert wasn't taking them, and Tina wasn't taking them, and Tom wasn't going to take them. Anyway, I ain't found a whole lot of cigarettes out here to smoke, but I found a couple. I don't really feel comfortable driving, obviously, because it's almost midnight and there's methamphetamines in my system, and no, I'm not comfortable with driving intoxicated. So there's that. The situation never should have happened. Now, the fact that I had to do all the detective work and all the police work, why the hell am I not getting paid for doing the police's job if I'm the one doing all the work? If I'm the one who's required to go find all the evidence and go talk to all the witnesses and get their statements and record it and all that shit, what the hell are we paying cops for?
Don't forget your party bag.
Anyway, you guys know me. I'm against violence. Let's ask these folks. Hey, I got a question for you. If somebody brought you a drink
But it is my birthday.
and they put drugs in it and didn't tell you about it, what would you do?
Would you like a party bag?
You'd be mad. I'm mad because that happened to me earlier today. Most people with male persuasion would say I'd drink it. Most women would say that they'd be mad. Nobody likes being roofied.
It depends on the drug. Yeah, the drug.
Yeah,
That's true.
I might be upset.
If it was a roofie, yeah, then I'm not gonna have a fun night. I'm not gonna do any shit.
Little acid or something like that.
That is,
Not gonna be too bad.
Someone mollied my water. I mean, shit.
Well, I like my body, so I figure the way that I take care of it, what I put into it, I'd like to know what's going in there, because I could have a bad reaction to what's in it. I just got back from the hospital. They definitely drugged me. Be safe, y'all. All right, so we're at the bridge now, getting ready to cross. And then we'll take a right, and I'll actually show the path here. The eyeglass store. There's a psychic gift shop over there. Ooh, tarot cards. All right. So this is the path that I was taking every day when I was parking my car by the Sinclair. There are obviously safety issues at Sinclair because this particular group of folks are the ones who hang out at Sinclair. I do want to say that the folks who work at the Sinclair, they're pretty badass. The two ladies that I got to know there were extremely good to me, except for the parts where they didn't understand. And of course, that's not my fault. I don't get to decide what people understand and what they don't. Anyway, down this trail is where the meth camp is. So, well, not just the meth camp. There's sober camp right down there, and there's another one right over here. There's a drunk camp over there, and then over there there's a meth camp, or a heroin camp, meth camp, meth camp. And Laura, she lives in very, very far back camp, the scariest one. Now, it's not the scariest because it's the biggest, because it definitely is the biggest. It's the volume of traffic that goes through there, of people with expectations. Now, as far as the camp that Michael is at, with his pregnant girlfriend and her mother and his brother-in-law who socked him in the eyeball with brass knuckles. Well, that's dangerous camp because the people that go into that camp. First of all, we got Alex, and you got those guys who will smile in your face, and when they want something, they'll try talking you up and buttering you up, and I'll get you a storage unit, going out of their way to miss entirely what you're saying. Well, if they don't get what they want, things don't go good. Now, the fact that Alex is the one that's got the blues and is distributing the blues down here means that, well, you probably better do what Alex wants if you're a distributor. And obviously, Alex is not distributing this all for himself. He's distributing it for someone else. No, I don't know who that somebody else is. But I do know when Rudy's camp was uprooted, Alex is the one that took over on that little corner. And they didn't let him stay very long. Anyway, Alex was pretty nice to me. Nice talking anyway. Until he didn't get what he wanted. And that's created a hell of a safety situation for me. Now, having these little tweaker fuckers putting stuff in my drink, I don't know anybody who would be happy with that. Those guys back there, they're talking about free drugs, sure, conceptually, but this wasn't a concept. This isn't one of those situations where it's like, oh, well, if it happened, I'd do this. For me, it actually happened. Real life. Fucking ninja dosed by a couple of little fucking shit bricks. I haven't been down here to clean for, I don't know, probably a week or two. So it's getting pretty hellaciously bad back there. But there's safety issues and concerns here, so I gotta pay attention to those. Now, as far as folks being mad at me for cursing, you know what? I'm not gonna stop cursing. If that's what it takes to be heard, if that's what it takes for you to pay attention, that's what I gotta do. You really think I enjoy cursing at people? I'm a jolly-go-lucky fucking happy person. No, things aren't fucking always great in my life. But on the bright side, while most of these people drown out their problems with drugs and alcohol, I try to do something about it. Anyway, I'm almost to the, Hampton Inn and Suites. So we're most of the way back to my car. We can hope that it's still, I don't know, still not towed. I did put a sign on the, well, two different signs. I put one on the back window and I put one on the driver's side window. If the security people come and talk to me, I'll explain to them what's going on. hopefully they're gonna be nicer than the cops. That's one of the things about the hospital staff. One of the ones that I spoke to last time I was there, or time before that. Him and one of the nurses there sat down and were talking to me about how, they're not really all that happy with their jobs. They don't even like what they do. They think it sucks that the system is so screwed up. And today he told me that, him and a lot of the people at the hospital are actually pretty big fans. They've been watching along, and he was worried about being recorded and put on my YouTube channel. No, he's not on my YouTube channel. No, I'm not putting him up there. Yes, I did record the situation, just in case, as is my right. I did not record it live, and I didn't feel that it was something that, of course, needed to be recorded live. This is pretty private information, and like I said about the hospital, if there was a situation where people were talking about sensitive information, I'd have turned it off. That was absolutely not necessary at any point, which is nice. It means that the recording is unbroken, and that means that people can't accuse me of cutting it up and turning it into something it ain't. I'm really glad that it actually hasn't worn off yet, just because I know how much pain I'm going to be in, and I'm not looking forward to it. Anyway, these are the people that Rudy's constantly picking up after down here. He's out of jail now, thank goodness. Like I tell y'all, if you're gonna use drugs, use them. You don't have to hide it. It's when you hide it that it becomes a problem. I can't trust anybody out here who wants to hide their addictions, because people who are still hiding their addictions will do terrible things to hide their addictions, to keep those addictions hidden. You can tell your best friend in the whole world that you're being assaulted over their addictions. However, if your best friend isn't wanting to admit to having a problem, or admits to having a problem, but doesn't want to admit that the issues are because of that problem, it becomes very complicated, especially when it's a matter of popularity. When it comes down to a matter of skin color, a matter of gender, a matter of looks, a matter of how much money you got. And your rights in America are based upon those two things: popularity and money. With money, you can buy popularity. Popularity can earn you money. So, of course, some people start off advantaged where others do not. Some people start off in a good family and they have a good start to life. And some people, they start off with a shit family, can't get off the cocaine, and they grow up in the system getting raped. getting beaten. And of course, not that any of it fucking matters, right? Now with Laura, this is a scary situation as far as she goes. Not that I'm afraid of her. I mean, obviously I'm afraid of everybody, but I'm afraid for her. Her camp is, she has to pass their camp on the way to her camp. The trail is only about 1.5 feet wide in a lot of places. It's got blackberries on either side, so it's not like you'll be able to, especially if you're not in the greatest of health. And she's not in the greatest of health. She's not going to have any chance of getting away from those boys. So as far as trying to turn him in, there's also the fact that he might be her dealer. And if he's her dealer, she's not going to want to turn him in. She's for certainly, as a homeless person, not going to want to turn him in. But also her job as the homeless liaison here, well, that's what it would have been in Boulder. Here it's just homeless advocate, which we need. And thank goodness she is somebody who is homeless. So, I mean, her advocacy means a lot more than somebody who has never been here. Because of her addictions, she's able to connect with a lot of the addicts out here that need to be connected to on an individual level, a one-on-one level with somebody who understands. For them, going to services like the Center for Living. The Center for Living is basically the replacement for the Department of Health and Human Services out here. The problem is, by law, there are certain things that the Department of Health and Human Services is supposed to do in these situations. They're not, because they don't fucking exist here. There is no Department of Health and Human Services, no social workers at all. They wanted to send me to Portland. And Portland says they can't do anything because they have too many people. No matter what, it's always pushing you on to somewhere else where you're not fucking wanted. And that's not acceptable. Now, I'm not somebody who's gonna get violent. However, I'm not someone who's gonna keep quiet either. So, hopefully Laura can help me turn that in. I think if I use my phone to set up the mobile hotspot, then I could probably make the phone call on my telephone here, and I could record it on my tablet, and then, fuck, how would that even work? The tablet is not real great for trying to do all the email stuff. I'd still have to, well, I guess I could do it the way I've been doing it. Use my phone to make the phone call. If I've got enough charge on my tablet, I can use the tablet to record it. After I've recorded it on my tablet, then I can play it on my tablet if it's got enough charge still, and my phone has enough charge still. Record it with my phone. Just because it's playing on my tablet, similar to what I was doing with my computers before, where I'd use one computer for recording on YouTube, and then the other one was full of evidence. So I'd just, obviously with it taking hours and hours of post editing and all that, and me not knowing how to do it at the time, Like it made it so that it was impossible for me to do all the nice fancy shit that you guys take for granted on all your favorite YouTube channels. I don't get the time to learn all that shit. I'm constantly running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. Now, I don't know how it works here. I know that if it was Boulder, I'd go to one of the enforcers and say, all right, I got a situation here that needs to be dealt with. And the enforcers would get together and decide the moral and ethical issues inherent in the situation and decide how to respond accordingly. With Stephen Smith, when he thought that locking an underage girl in his hotel room and not allowing her to leave was okay. Well, her mother came down to the street people because the cops wouldn't do shit and she already knew it. So she came down to the street folks and the street folks made sure that Stephen left. The cops used to come to us too. Now there's one of them in specific. His name is Keith Steinman. He didn't come to us the way the rest of them did. Keith Steinman uses his job as the same way Scott DaCosta does. None of us are human beings, and he's a human being in his mind, but we are not in his mind, so he's allowed to do whatever he wants to us in his mind, and his position gives him the right to do so in his mind. So, he didn't like Monkey. That's Michael Pennington. Michael Pennington is, he likes Keith Steinman so much that he got Steinman's badge number tattooed on him. So Steinman was always trying to get Monkey in trouble with the street community. I mean, these cops know that rule number one is you don't talk to cops. So Steinman would come down, especially when we got noobs there. He'd come down and run around all those noobs. Hey, you know what Monkey just said about you, don't you? You know what Monkey just told me? Hey, turn out your pockets. Monkey told me you got drugs. Yeah. That's life in a nutshell, ain't it? So, those of you who understand why I'm pissed off, thank you for understanding. Those of you who don't understand why I'm pissed off, you need to stop roofing people. You need to stop slipping drugs into people's drinks. You need to stop that shit. It's not okay. I know some of you are gonna pretend like it's different when it's a woman. It's absolutely not. This is absolutely fucking wrong. Also, it looks like somebody been messing with my car while I was gone. I'll get up closer. Hopefully I'm wrong. It might just be the way the light's hitting it. Yeah, I told y'all earlier, it might just be in my head, but it's probably not. And I went and took the whiz quiz, and sure enough, I was right. Yep. It was fucked with. Make sure I got everything. fuck it. If you don't understand why I'm not okay with this, why I'm not okay with people putting drugs in my drink, you are what's wrong with the world. I don't think Laura's gonna help me turn this in tomorrow, but I do hope that the lady at the Shell station will. I'm also gonna ask one of the ladies who works at the Starbucks, because I can't keep going and trying to turn this shit in by myself, only to get blown off by the fucking cops. Now, since I know who they are and approximately what time it is, it was in a Pepsi cup. It was a medium Pepsi cup. It's right over there, so it'll be on camera. Motherfuckers. Alright, well, I'm still not fit to drive, so I'm gonna head over to the Shell station. That lady's not working, but there's the fella that was in the army. He's probably working tonight. He's usually the night shift. Pleasant feller. I like his taste in music. Maybe that alcoholic feller, what did he say his name was? Jacob, I think. I don't know. I only remember his dog's name, Jack Frost. He's trying to get to Cascade Locks tomorrow. Obviously, with this shit today, it's probably a real good idea if I turn it in. And he knows where the cat station is, so I'm gonna have to let him go on his own. Today we were gonna work on getting him a backpack, but he showed up real late, showed up real drunk, didn't come talk to me. He went and talked to some other feller for a couple hours. I just want to go to sleep. I guess the guy that gave me the drink, his name is Adam. I don't know that for certain. I'm going to want to make sure I get a positive ID on him. I'll probably get assaulted for trying. But we'll have to see. I know Alex watches my channel. He stopped talking to me altogether after I spoke up about him and his treatment.
Yeah, that might work. The brand new, it worked pretty good. It went
I buy my kids an iPhone 12 and their dad an iPhone 13.
Yeah.
And I still have something from like 3 years ago. Because I refuse to buy myself something like.
Yeah, it just depends on what you like.
I'm gonna buy a new watch though.
What for your phone? Okay.
Oh, I have my smartwatch. I just can't wear it. I can't use it at the prison.
I got a question for you. How do I go about getting the security cameras?
Why? What happened?
Well, there was a couple of guys. I guess one of them's name is Adam. The other one's name is Nick. They're a couple of the local meth dealers. I pissed them off a few days ago, so they
You
bought
have
a
to come back when the
Pepsi.
manager's here, which won't be until about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
All right. Well, they
And
that's what they dosed me with.
okay. Yeah, you'd have to come back and you'd have to talk to the manager when she's here. That won't be until about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that'll work. I'll get this for now.
And that's $1.10.
Yes, sir.
Here, I got
See
10
if I
right
got
here.
10 cents.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
You're good.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I went and told the cops. They ignored me, so I had to walk all the way up to the hospital. Right?
All right.
Can't forget my man purse. Well, on the bright side, I got a witness to the situation. I got the medical thing that shows that they slipped drugs into my drink. So there's Daniel who can verify that it. Fuck, man, like, why would you do that to somebody? Anyway, I gotta come back tomorrow morning after 8 o'clock. With as little traffic as on the roads right now, I could probably decently and reasonably and safely drive to the park and ride. I don't feel right about it. I mean, it sure reasonably I should be able to, but seems to me life just keeps fucking happening the bad way to me. With my luck, I would get pulled over, pulling out of the marina, and then of course I'd get arrested for driving under the influence. They'd accuse me of being some sort of big dirty meth head and meth dealer and all sorts of crazy shit like that. And, oh, well, look, see. It sucks. Like, obviously, I already went to the cops earlier today about it. I got blown off. A couple other people talked to me like I was talking crazy shit. Like, who would do that? Who would waste perfectly good meth to fuck somebody up? Well, somebody who's got a fucking vendetta, that's who. Somebody who didn't get what they want, that's who. People victimize whoever they think it'll be easiest to victimize. That's as simple as it is. It doesn't have to be complicated. People's motivations are fucking simple. I'll see how much charge I have on this thing. Oh, jeez, it's about to die. It says 1%. Alright, this video is going to end if I don't attach one of my external batteries to it. And I am surprised as shit that it didn't dim on me like it usually does. Alright, good. This one's got some charge on it. Not much, but better than nothing. Alright, good. And it's charging. Alright, I'm not sure if it'll charge while filming though. This is over an hour long. Like I said, I record everything when I can. The fact that I was able to get my clandestine recording device cleared off and get everything put onto my computer from it meant that I was actually able to record the situation at the hospital, where I told them what was going on. By law, they're supposed to call the cops. Accidental ingestion. No, I didn't tell them I accidentally ingested it. I told them somebody intentionally put it in my fucking drink. And it's a good thing that I recorded it. Now, as far as having to put that up on YouTube and Facebook, I really shouldn't have to at this point. Hopefully they'll get their asses in gear and pull their heads out of their backsides and take a couple of breaths, get the oxygen in their friggin' system again. This is bullshit. And yeah, you know, you can say that crap about how you never call the police. It's kids running around punching people in the face with brass knuckles over false accusations. He's slipping drugs into people's drinks as a peace offering. No, I'm not fucking happy. This is bullshit. Now, of course, I got to worry about false charges, because when they press false charges on you, you no longer have the right to your evidence. They can prevent you from turning them in by pressing false charges against you, and then use those false charges to prevent you from showing evidence or turning them in. Now, without somebody who actually cares enough to get actively involved and say, hey, this is fucking wrong. If it's wrong to do it to Zaid Atkinson, it's wrong to do it to Sean Schwartz. If it's wrong to do it to Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, it's wrong to do it to Sean Schwartz. If it's wrong to do it to Elijah McClain, it's wrong to do it to Sean Schwartz. If it's wrong to do it to George Floyd, it's wrong to do it to Sean Schwartz. Wrong is fucking wrong. When you choose to look away from the crimes of a lot of people in my situation, over my gender, over my religion, over my skin color, over my age, These are all the things you're not supposed to discriminate against somebody for. And all of these things were used to prevent me from having an honest day in court, from facing my accusers. Being forced to go back to predators like my dad, that shouldn't have happened. My dad was out of my life for a reason. Just like Lana Engeline and Amanda Engeline and Jerry Sparks and Tyler Frericks and Jennifer Frericks and Candace Bondurant. There's a reason that in 2016, when I was in Virginia visiting Natalie, there's a reason I stopped being friends with all those people, stopped associating with those people, and stopped talking to those people. Because no matter how much I loved them, they didn't love me. No matter how wrong they were, they'd just gang up on me as a group, and it magically makes it okay. Well, it's not okay. Wanting soldiers to punch Colin Kaepernick in the throat, that's not okay. So, when I see Daniel, I'm gonna... Well, here's the thing. Daniel is delusional. But he was there for the situation, and he did take a drink of the soda. He also noticed the funky flavor in it. That's right, folks. The same Daniel that I called 911 on when he kicked his foot through a window. Yeah, I got that recorded. I also got the guy whose window was busted recorded, harassed me, threatened me, and lying to the fucking cops. Meanwhile, why does it matter? I've been trying to turn these fucking cops in for months. It's to their benefit. Same as anywhere else the cops break the fucking law. It is to their benefit to help your predators. It only makes them look good and makes you look like a stooge. So magically it's okay. Well, I've been forced to do some pretty goddamn desperate shit. So far, I've got a body count of 0. I'd say that's a pretty good fucking record. So I told the doctor that all I needed was the paperwork for the release. And because he was telling me that I would need the paperwork from records. I don't need the paperwork from records to know what's in my system. It's written on my paperwork. Now, at first, I couldn't see where it was written down when I was looking at it with the nurse, male nurse. And we were able to find it on my paperwork because they do. When they take a whiz quiz and they find drugs in your system, they have to write them down. Yes, I do pretend to smoke pot a lot. The whole Bill Clinton thing. It's not that I'm against smoking pot. I just don't want to get stoned. At the same time, I know how it is when you're squeaky clean in a dirty community. Of course, these people out here on the streets aren't nearly as dirty as the cops. They're not capable. Anyway, I already went to the sheriff's department about it earlier, and that sheriff's deputy, he is recorded on my channel. His reaction is recorded on my channel. So that's in my favor. When I was telling the doctor that I wanted to press charges, that's my intent, was to press charges against the people who did this to me. here's the thing, is that he said, made mention about if I wanted to sue. No, these are criminal charges. Suing is entirely different. That's one of the things people keep getting messed up, is civil and criminal courts. They don't understand the difference. When it comes to a situation where you've got an at-risk adult who is telling you that he has been illegally ninja dosed, he's telling you that he was drugged without his permission. Yes, by law, they're supposed to have a social worker come out there immediately. They did not do that. Now, this is according to the law. This isn't according to hospital protocol. Which one are they going to follow? Well, which one does the Center for Living follow? Do they follow the law of what they're supposed to be doing if they're taking over for social services? Are they following the law? No. And the fact that they're not social services also gets to be used as an excuse why they didn't know. No, they absolutely do know. They're all trained. All of these people who are telling me that they didn't know this and they didn't know that, they're all mandatory reporters. Mandated reporters. They have to report it. They have all taken this training. When they say they don't remember this or they don't remember that or it was years ago, no, they remember. They for surely do. They didn't follow those rules, and there's a reason. I got public pretender, or sorry, not public pretender. I got mandated reporter after mandated reporter telling me it won't do any good and they don't want to lose their jobs. And that's why they play stupid. Also, I know that I only used about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours tops of the recording time on my clandestine recording device. So that gives me probably about 5 hours, 6 hours left of recording time. So if there's any more situations that arise, well, at least I'll be able to record it, which I haven't been able to do in over a month. Like I said, there was a couple of times I went to the Starbucks to try to get it taken care of, and a couple of times I went to the library, and life just happens. I didn't have the money to go to the library to begin with. Now I do. I got like $5 in my pocket. That's enough to park at the library for a few hours and get some stuff done. It's still more expensive than going to Starbucks. Plus, the rules at Starbucks are a little bit more lenient. If that lady Laura won't help me to turn it in tomorrow, and I got a feeling she won't, and for good reason. She doesn't want to be targeted. I can ask one of the ladies at Starbucks. She's the one that I went in and let know when this happened, and she didn't make me pay for my drink. She actually paid for it, and her and a new trainee that was there made sure I was all right. I let them know that I was dosed with something. I was pretty sure it was meth, and that just to make sure I was still speaking English. I wasn't sure if there was any fentanyl in it. So I let them know about my concerns with that. I let them know if I was unable to respond in English, then they should probably call 911. I also let them know that I had already spoken with a police officer, or a sheriff's department, sorry, a deputy, about the situation right over here at the marina when I got blown off. So both of those employees are already aware that I've been blown off already over the situation. The new one doesn't really know me from Adam. That's almost funny. Except it's not. But the other one, she helped me once to try to set up my Walmart card so that I could have a GoFundMe to try to get out of this situation. I started that GoFundMe, I want to say 2 months ago. I haven't made a single penny off of it. I literally never got paid for any of the GoFundMes. And a lot of people tell me I should be in prison for ripping people off for tens of thousands of dollars over those GoFundMes. No, that's Ted Bollinger. Carl Rogers ripped me off. Candace Bondurant ripped me off. They're the two who started those GoFundMes at the very beginning that you guys donated money to, those of you who did. Candace Bondurant made sure that she prevented me from having access to those funds, and she made sure that Carl Rogers was hell-set and hateful against me. They posted up all the stuff that, well, only the stuff that Candace wanted to show. She didn't want to show what the argument was over, or why I was being an asshole. She just wanted to pretend I was some horrible person who was cursing at her for no fucking reason. I don't curse at anyone for no fucking reason. Anyway, this is an hour and 22 minutes long, so good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.